So
We're running out of time. We only have a minute, so it's okay. I will catch
it's
up.
coming,
I'll
it's
figure it out.
coming here. So what, the other thing I'm watching is, demographics. Okay, you got this huge 63 million people wave of baby boomers that are at the end of their earnings cycle, and they're cashing out of their jobs, and they got a lot of money, and they're moving to Florida, Arizona, Texas, North Carolina, Tennessee. All right. And they're buying up. They don't care about the mortgage rates. They don't care about anything.
Right.
They got money and they're buying. So demand is strong. You look at migration patterns. People are moving north to south. They have been, and they're doing it a lot more even now. So Florida is in strong demand. Arizona, Texas, Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, all in huge demand. So low supply, high demand. To expect prices to drop is probably not, it's probably a big ask. Except Jerome Powell needs the prices to drop. So you fight the Fed. Investors have found a long time ago that's a hard game to play. All right. So at any rate, 8 o'clock,
Okay.
right?
Answered my question. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and start. Yesterday's yesterday, right? I hope you guys did great. If you didn't, good. If you did, good. Tomorrow, we'll worry about tomorrow, but today we are going to worry about how to get through today. Okay. So what we want to talk about, first of all, let me ask you this. Are we hitting all right? Are you guys learning anything? You getting anything out of these? Are we all right? Are we doing okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sometimes it's hard to tell. We're trying to teach, we're trying to inform, we're trying to learn, just trying to make sure it's all working right. So what we want to talk about today is deals falling out, right? I've had what is commonly referred to as a shit ton of deals falling out. I think I lost over $200,000 in commission income in August, which is a lot of money, at least for me. But you know, it's part of the game. Jeff, what are you guys seeing across the board?
Same thing. We're having more transactions fall out than we have had in 10 years. And so what's going on with that? That's what we're going to talk about today, how to help you guys save some money by keeping these deals together.
Or make the money, because it's not yours until it closes.
Yeah. So we'll go. Do you want to get into
Yeah,
this?
let's just start. Let's just go. Why are they falling out? So wait a minute, 30% of deals are falling out on KW Emerald Coast land, right?
On the high side of the fallout rate, that's yes.
I had more deals fall out in August than we actually closed. I mean, that is just crazy, crazy. And it sucks. Because if you guys are like me, when something goes pending, you're like, yeah, you're practically spending the money, right? Yeah, all right, here we go. We got a little something. And then to have a third of them, 3 out of 10. We're just saying, if you're going to close 50 deals, you better put 75, 80 of them under contract. It's a different game you're playing all of a sudden, isn't it? So what are we seeing? What are you seeing across the board, Jeff? Why? What's going on here?
Yeah, the reasons are like cold feet. You talked about that one day recently. Buyer comes in, puts a contract in on a property, and the next day they cancel it.
Like in 1 minute, change my mind.
So it's
change your mind. What's wrong? And they'll come up with any number of reasons, right? My horoscope.
Buyer feels like they're paying too much. Seller feels like they're giving, and then it doesn't work. So the other
Are
thing
you guys
is,
seeing this? Are you seeing deals fall out? Here's the other interesting thing from my perspective. Sellers don't give a crap. Is what I'm seeing, right? Well, I can buy something else. Yeah, good. Go buy something else. It's kind of the seller. I didn't even want to sell. I'm going to pull. I have people pulling their listings, right? We're under contract. It didn't work out. Or yeah, they want the water heater replaced. Nope. And I'm pulling my listing. Oh, wait, stop. It's amazing. It's amazing. So we got sellers that, now keep in mind, you always got death, divorce, disease, all that kind of stuff, right? But a lot of folks are just choosing not to play. Or they'll say, yeah, I'll play if, I get this, and this and that. Give me 2 of those and a few of this over here and whatever. Then I'm in. Yeah, I can give you that, and that, but I can't give you that. Oh, no, without that, no. Boom. Right? That's on the seller side. And then the buyer's over there going, yeah, I think the market's going to drop. Interest rates. The market's going to crash. I'll just wait. Boom. Right? Am I the only one? This, right? That's what we're seeing. That's why 30% are falling out. That's a killer. That's a killer. So cold feet, what do we do? Do we got a solution? What are you saying on that, Jeff?
Well, the solution's got to be, the agent solution is to prepare your clients for what could go wrong.
What does that look like?
So it's not a surprise to them. You just say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, the buyer's lending, that's going to be the next subject. The buyer's lending may not come through on time. If it does, and if it doesn't, then what we'll do is ask for more EMD or give the seller a solution for what could go wrong. And then when it happens, you say, remember, we talked about that. And this is what we're going to do. And you're still going to get to win. See?
So
And so
you're on a listing presentation. Here's a list of all the things I do, right? Up to 1 million things, because I'm a very busy person. Here's all the things I do. I'm going to make sure the lender's on board. I'm going to make sure the inspector's on board. I'm going to make sure the blah, blah, blah is happening, whatever. But, or not but, and as we go, I need you to know that there might be some pushback. The roof might be an issue. How old's the roof? We have never had a leak, but the roof, I think Ben Franklin put it in. How's the water heater? Oh, it works great. Yeah, my cousin gave it to me in 1981, right? How's the whatever? But you gotta start prepping them. You might get some pushback on this. All right, so just be ready. I have solutions. I can get you through this, which is why you're hiring me. All right. But at least it's out there and you got this checklist. 1, it shows that you know what's going on. 2, you got a plan and gives them confidence. So then when it comes back, they're like, oh yeah, you did say that. But no, double barrel fingers at the buyer. I hate them. But I mean, that's what you work through right now, right? Cold feet, you gotta prep the clients. What's the next one?
Lending not ready to close by the closing date. Then the seller wants the EMD.
Anybody ever need an extension ever on any real estate transaction? I think I'm running about 100%. Every now and then we'll get one, hey, can you close early? You'd be like, what? Early? You mean on closing day instead of 11, we'll do it at 10? But most of the time we need extensions, especially these days. Appraisers are problems, inspections, re-inspections. I got somebody doing a 3rd inspection. Wow. So is there a solution other than prepping on that?
Oh, yeah, I would get in touch with your lender. First of all, you got to have we talked about this all week too, a professional lender that has been around, that's been through the tough market, and you find out what time they need to close. When you write the contract, you get the lender involved if you can. And then I'd add 15 days to that closing date and then make it on or before, and then do your thing.
Yeah, think about it. Upfront, part of this is one of them will be the lender. We're gonna babysit the lender, all right, to make sure that things are moving along. Because what happens, you guys, is you have a loan officer or a mortgage broker. They're the salesperson, and they're like, yeah, double thumbs up. We'll get this done for you for sure, no doubt. And they're all yeah. But then it gets to the parents, right? The underwriter. The underwriter looks at it and says, no, and throws it out. The problem is it doesn't get to underwriting until right before closing, usually, right?
Yeah.
So we got to make sure whether it's you or your closing person or somebody is monitoring, did the appraiser go? Did the inspector go? Did the this, did the that, did the whatever go? And, like, come on, let's go. What was the result? What do we got to do? What was the result? And I think this leads into team. Is that your next one, Jeff?
No, the next one was any interruption in the process, contract to close. And it includes like a bad inspection report, insurance is more than somebody thought it was,
Insurance, yeah.
or a buyer wants to put an addendum to try to charge the seller with something unexpected, anything that gets in between that, somebody's liable to pull out and say, I'm out,
Yep.
and then fight over the EMD. That's all I deal with. is
So
these EMD.
again, if I was y'all, I'd come up with my little list of things that I do, and I present it at the listing appointment. Here's all the things where your deal's gonna fall apart, where the buyer's gonna get scared, or the seller's gonna get scared, or whatever. But I got a plan. I'm on it. You can count on this guy. We got this worked out. And then make sure you do, because home inspectors show up. I mean, I get inspection reports that are like 900 pages long on a 700 square foot, 1-bedroom condo. It's like, holy crap, right? It's a condo. I don't have a roof. I don't have lawn. I got 700 square feet and you're giving me 95 pages, and people freak out. You got to be ready for that stuff. And then in Florida, we got insurance. We got these hot waters. It's not even just Florida. We got a little bit more because some of these assessments, but I think every state is suffering from some sort of insurance situation, because insurance companies are getting pounded and they want to make money. So I would lean heavy on that. And then the other thing I would lean heavy that comes back to all this is team. You got to have a team. And I'm not necessarily talking about a real estate team, which can be one thing where you have admin and some things and some people to talk to. That's certainly a good thing. But what I'm talking about is your most fundamental. If you're a solo agent, you got to have a team of lenders. And I don't mean one lender. You got to have 3 probably lenders that you can call and will answer your call, right? And you can say, I got an emergency. And then you got to know, what is their specialty? You got to know if they're good at condos, if they're good at build outs, if they're good at whatever. You got to know those people, right? And you got to have a different group that are, think of a football team. You got an offense, a defense, you got special teams, you got positions within those areas. You got to have that group from a lender, inspector. You got to have different inspectors. I wouldn't have my inspector that's doing VA properties the same one that's doing a short-term rental property. Got to drive you nuts. All right. You got to have different appraisers that you go to. Same reasons. All right. This is your team that you're going to go to. Your contractor. You're going to have a contractor for big things. You're going to have a handyman for little things. You're going to have somebody in the middle for other things. You're going to have the guy that'll show up when you call, the one you have to schedule, all that stuff, right? This is your team. And if you have this in place, and if you're doing this, all this stuff, you can just check off, got it. Now they're still going to fall out. Some will, but fewer will. Okay. And all this stuff goes back to what we talked about the last few days. It's knowledge. This is the knowledge that you get by putting all these people, your experience that you get from dealing with them. And I'll give you something. Here's what I was taught on recommendations. Here are 3, here's who we recommend. That puts a lot of weight on this guy, right? Here are 3 groups or people or things that that our clients have had success with. Okay? Try them. And will you do me a favor? If you hire one of them, will you send me a note and let me know how it goes? That way we can continue to recommend these folks. And if they don't do a good job, let us know and then we can reevaluate, because I don't want to send somebody to you that isn't good. So will you send me a note back? 1, you look like a hero. 2, you get a client for life. And 3, you adopt them for their next purchase. And you take absolutely no responsibility for the outcome. Hey, we had great response. Our clients have had great response from this group of folks. I'm sorry to hear yours didn't. Let me here's some others that they've said are good as well. Okay. Keep the liability and the worry off of you. Make sense?
Then you have to share your standards, whatever your team standards are. What I mean by that, if they get a call on a Sunday, is your lender going to take the call? Yes or no? Is that a standard for your team or you? And if it is, then you have to find people who are willing to do what you need them to. So we had lenders that would take calls from of their boat if they were out on Crab Island on Sunday. And that's what could be required for you.
The good ones will.
That's right, because their business depends on you, right? So share your standards with your team, the lenders and everyone, and make sure they're willing to go down the road with you. And next is, if you're a newer agent, if you're experienced, we had old contract to close checklists that now they're becoming more and more important. Excuse me, on this voice. But if you're new, there are title companies that will actually help you. Excuse me, with contract to close issues. They'll actually babysit you to help you get through the transaction, because guess what? They don't get paid unless it closes either. So they're
Yeah,
going
this
to
is vital, very important. Underline, highlight, bold it. This is vital. You got to put these people to work for you, because if you are babysitting your deal, you are not getting the next deal. And that's going to cost you twice as much when this one falls out, right? Get your deal, negotiate it, give it to your team so you can go get another deal. If you don't and a deal falls out, you're losing, who knows, maybe 2 or 3. Do not let it domino on you. Make sense?
Yeah, you have to think of everything now. You have to think of everything that could go wrong and cover.
Okay. Another big one. Do not get attached to the outcome.
Oh, yeah.
Makes you do weird things, right? Do your best. Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do, but don't get attached to the outcome. Don't get mad. Don't get sad. Don't get whatever. You got to be the calming influence. The buyer can freak out. The seller can freak out. The vendors can freak out. You cannot freak out. You got to be the calming influence on the deal. Now you can get off the phone or leave the meeting or whatever and scream and yell and kick garbage cans and throw things around, but you cannot do it to the client, buyer, seller, or the vendor. You got to be the pro. Okay. Do not, and the way you do that is don't get attached to the outcome. Work the problem. Oh my God, the roof has a leak. Okay, good. What do we got to do to fix it? Oh, well, we got to do this, this, and this. Okay, you got it? I got it. Okay, good. Next. Don't, oh my God, a leak. Oh my God, the whole deal's going to go to crap. Oh God, no. All right, we got a leak. Good. What's our solution? And fix it. Oh,
Yeah.
it didn't appraise. It didn't appraise. Okay, cool. What did it appraise for? Blah, blah, blah. All right. Will the buyer still buy it if it appraised low? Will the seller still sell it if it appraised high? Yeah.
That's
What's the problem? Well, I guess we don't have one. Okay, good. Let's keep going. Or no, we're 10 grand apart. Okay, good. Will the buyer pay for it? Will the seller pay for it? No. All right. Will they meet in the middle, 5 and 5? No. All right. Will they meet at 25, 75? I don't work the problem is my point. Right? There's an assessment. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Yeah, okay, there's an assessment. How much? When's it happening? What's it cover? Work the problem. Be a pro, right? And then hang up. Okay, so you got it. You hang it up, click. Oh my God, I can't believe this, right? And then you can freak out. But you just got to be calm, cool, right? Do that. You'll save way more deals, all right? And even if you save one, it's going to be a lot. You'll save a lot more than one if you do that, okay? What else? Anything else?
Do not get emotional about the other real estate agent. Should they do something you disagree with, do not
Especially if you're
share.
double ending it. Bad plan.
Yeah, do not share that with your client, because they will hold that against that agent. The deal may even fall out because of you sharing that with them. So don't do what John said. Hang up the phone and then carry on. But don't do it with them.
Yeah. And here's the deal. Some agents are going to insert their own ego into it, their own bias, their own. You might not even be talking to the buyer or the seller. You're talking to the agent. You got to convince that person first, which is really unfortunate, but true. But be a pro. If you're a pro, you gave them your list of things so they're aware in the beginning of possible problems. You have some sort of a team, lenders. I didn't say lender, lenders, inspectors, appraisers, all that stuff, right? If you have your team that you can go to And then if you don't get attached to the outcome, you can focus on solving the problem and getting things done. Okay. Now it's easier if you got a few people in there because the crowdsourcing it or being able to play good cop, bad cop, all that kind of stuff is a good situation to have. But if you're on your own, make sure you get your lender, your vendors and your whomevers in play. And that is what you're going to do to save deals. And here's the thing. Not every deal is going to make it through. Just not. Never has, never will. So if you're put one under contract, just like a listing, not every listing is going to sell. Never has, never will. So if you take a listing and you start spending the money based on something that hasn't happened, bad plan. If you get it under contract as pending and you go spend money based on something you're going to get, bad plan. Okay. Do not go spend any money until that thing's closed and you have that check in your hand and it clears. Okay. I've seen agents get into trouble with what's going to happen that didn't. So be very careful on that, especially these days when things are tight. All right. Questions, comments, concerns? I got no chats. Nobody's talking about how I shaved and I look really good. All right. I'll do it myself. I'll type in my own. Fine. Let me just say here, y'all look great. You're all incredibly wonderful people, right? Nothing for me still. Nice.
Oh, gosh.
All right, let's go to work. It's that time of the day. Let's go to work. Let's make some money. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
How about this?